Prjion Rizz, the good old Rizz. Check this thing out. Check out this blow molded beast right here, by the way. Speaking of beast, I did do a video on the Prjion beast, and technically what the Rizz is, it's a small medium beast. The beast is more of a medium large, but looking over the specs, I fit right in the weight range. The problem with the beast was I was on the bottom end of the beast. I'm kind of on the top end of this, so I'm right in between these right here. I will go over the specs on this thing real quick. I'm not going to go over much of this outfitting, this PRX outfitting. I covered that very detailed in my beast review, so to give you guys a good kind of indication of what you're going to get with these thigh braces, this foam seat and all that. So if you want to see that, go over and check that out. But yeah, let me go ahead, start with the specs, and I'll go over the specs of this thing and kind of give you a good kind of rundown of this kayak, of the hull and the actual deck and all the specs. And then I'm out here on the river. I'll put this thing to a test so you guys can skip to that if you just want to go ahead and see the on water. This is not going to be a full-on long-term review. I paddled the beast, you know, for a few days, so I have a lot of experience with that one. But then with the Rizz, what I figured I'd do is just do a few laps out here and give you a good indication of what I think this boat will be good for, what it might not be good for. I don't know, I haven't paddled it yet, but so far I like what I see, everybody. So yeah, let's get into the specs now. Okay, so I found several things online on this boat, and I'm just going on the specs that I have on it right here. They're saying that the actual material is a high performance thermoplastic, which it is. It is definitely a tough boat. Anybody who knows Prjion knows that these boats are pretty much indestructible. Very good. It's a blow molded process and not a roller molded process. Not going to get into that on this video, but you want to know what it is, go look it up. The length on this thing is 8'10" on its overall length right here. The width is 26 inches in its widest point, which I would not consider that a narrow boat. It looks like it's like 26 inches from here to here. And the overall weight of this thing is 44 pounds, a 44-pound creeker. Yes, you heard me right. Creek boat, 44 pounds. That's pretty light. So anybody that doesn't want to carry a lot of weight on their shoulder, this is the way to go. And it's not because it's lighter, it's not because it's thinner plastic. The plastic is very durable, but you get a lighter boat in a actually more durable package, which is kind of crazy when you think of it like that. The overall volume of this thing is 84.5 gallons. So, you know, you might as well say it's an 85-gallon kayak, which is not what I'd consider small, but it's also not what I'd consider large. So as far as colors on this is kind of like in a magenta pink. It comes in a turquoise, and it comes in a blue, and I think it actually comes in a yellow. So you've got 3 different color options from what I see right here. So there's a quick rundown of all the specs on this boat. If you guys are interested in it, I recommend picking it up from Splatterpush Imports. Reach out to those guys. This is they were generous enough to loan me this boat for this review for y'all. So I really appreciate that from those guys. So go over, give them some love if you want to pick up one of these. There's several places you can pick up a Prjion boat, but usually Splatterpush Imports are the ones bringing them in, which is between the Letman paddle and the Prjion Rizz or Beast. I'm telling y'all, it's a very premium product that will last you a long time. These boats last generations. I've always said it. This is a boat you could pass down to several generations. You might be long gone, but your Rizz will still be floating around out there on the river. So yeah, let me do a quick little rapid fire walkthrough. You know, you get your triangle, you know, riveted in drain plug here. I don't think they put inserts in anything. All this is screwed in. Handles are nice, easy to grab a hold of. Very safe handles. This boat feels safe. Looking at it, I feel safe just, you know what, I feel safe just standing by it. Nobody wants to mess with a Prjion. So you get an aluminium bulkhead with aluminium rails, a couple little poly knobs right there. Thigh braces are these hooker style thigh braces. You can adjust them back. Ratcheted back band. Hip pads are easily adjusted. You just put foam behind it if you want to bring them out. Right down here you have some little accessory loops. Throw rope, by the way, that's a Hiko throw rope, the 33 footer. Awesome throw rope. Pick up one of those if you want a good throw rope. Has a little hook right here. I do wish there was more of a water bottle holder. You have to put the water bottle under this or behind you. You do get this little thing right back here where you can put a water bottle, but personally I like to see something integrated into the wall. There is a handle right here on this wall. Check that out. There's a handle right there for hanging onto. I like it when companies do that. So show your Rizz. You know what, they put Rizz on this thing 3 times, so you better show your Rizz. This is embossed in right there. These are stickers. High volume rocker in the front. Look at this, the amount of rocker. Just like the Beast, they went really high on the rocker, and they have a little bit of wave deflectors going down the front. You know me, I love my wave deflectors. More volume back here. See that it has a flat style tail in the back there. So rolling over the hull here, look at this hull. Look how I'm just standing on it. This is a mini Beast. We'll call it the mini Beast. But you can see right here, the edges run all the way down, fade out right there, run down like this. Kind of a hybrid style edge. It's got this kind of drop down style chine that drops from here to your flat throughout here, and then it drops down, comes around, and a good amount of volume right in here. Not so boxy, has a nice kind of flare sidewall on it. I like that, with the wave deflectors running deep down through here. Who doesn't love a wave deflector? And it's very flat up here on the front, running all the way down. How that looks going around to the tail. Looks like they have some sort of little texture on it. They have this little texture. There's where the rail starts. I don't think it has a negative rocker. It has more kind of a rounded off right here. But overall, from paddling the Beast, if it's anything like the Beast, I think it's gonna be a sportier version of that, which is a good thing, trust me. I really like that boat a lot, and I think I'm gonna like this one too. So yeah, there's the specs and the kind of quick walkthrough for you guys. You know what, leave in the comments below if what's your opinion of the overall design just from the walkthrough and the specs here. If it's something you might want, or if there's something on this thing that you like. Let's get this thing on the river. Let's get some laps in, and then I'll give you my first impressions thought of the Prjion Rizz. So let's get on the water now. Come on, my Rizzle. So the Rizz, and that wall works pretty good right where the hand grip is. You can see how it balances on my shoulder. I'm right on that hip pad, by the way, so it's actually a pretty comfortable carry. Okay, so just so you know, this is straight out of the package. I took it straight out of the plastic. I did almost zero outfitting to this. The only thing I did was bring the bulkhead up a little bit to tighten up into these, but sitting in it, everybody, me at about 175, 180 right now. You know, I'm a little leaner because I was in Colorado, and oh boy, that's getting that skirt on there is a little tough. Okay, I got the back on. The weight range they're saying is between 110 and 210 from what I could find online, which puts me kind of right in a good spot for it. The same way with the Beast. The Beast had a little more volume. That feels really good, everybody. It doesn't feel small. It feels like a true medium. A lot of stability behind my hips back there. A lot of stability right in here, which is kind of where you want it. I always say you make or break a boat between the hips and about right there, that you can really screw up a design really bad right there. Thigh braces. Once you get, if you're inside the thigh hooks up in here, it feels good. But if you get a little bit on the outside, they're a little flexible, but I think they're fine. I'm tilting and I'm holding just by the thigh hooks right now. It definitely feels more like a planing boat. Stability is really good. Kind of what you want in a river run or creeker, that's for sure. Just gonna go down and kind of work these eddies out. Let's get down in here. You can come down and hit this eddy tight. And then maybe do a ferry. Woo! I was gonna try to do that blast ferry. I seen that. You went in that little gap. Attainment. Oh, too easy. When you got a Rizz and a Lippmann, it's almost like you're cheating out here, everybody. I know what you're thinking. Come on, Rizzy. Oh, I like that bow. There is an edge on it, but it's not aggressive edge. I know what you're asking. Let's do a roll. Well, that was easy on the left, on the right. Easy on the right, back deck. I think it rolls fine. It's very, you want to keep your center of gravity low on it. Here you go, how does it surf? Get in there, Rizz. Well, the bow stays up. This isn't the best surfing wave, by the way, for like a river runner creeker. But I will do kind of a ferry across up here and then try to hit that booth. Sometimes I can get this, sometimes I can't. Oh, that Prjion bounce is what I'm calling that. You guys, it springs like a basketball. With this one, you need to get a little straighter. I like how those edges are there when you need them. Pop, pop goes the Rizz. Whew. It's lighter, so it gets thrown around easier. Definitely that flat bell is easy to keep up. Got this cross curve here. Surprisingly hard to keep in the hole. Yeah, it's hard to settle this thing down. It wants to bounce. You gotta stay very flat. There it is. Get in there. Stay flat. Don't you backload it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Feels like a real creek boat. Whatever that means, everybody. Woohoo! Easiest ferry to make, but you know what, I made it. I'm going to blast across Godzilla and then ferry out and see how these edges do here. Try not to get stuck in humongous. Get in this wave. Woo. Get in there, Rizz. It's so flat. Like, you gotta keep it moving though. Okay, so first lap there, my initial thoughts, it's a true creek boat. It's more of a well-rounded kind of everything creek boat. I don't see any issues with this thing at all. The only thing that it might get kind of you might want to get used to is how it kind of locks into a line sometimes. You can, if you do a little bit of weight transition, I can disengage it and move it around quickly if I need to. This is more, I've been paddling a boat like the Reactor for so long that's just like this quick kind of whip back and forth. This is more that traditional creek boat style, in my opinion, where you're going to use your edges more than anything. to kind of get around the river. So you need to get used to edging instead of those sweep, I call them like sweep boost strokes, where I take a big sweep and I can go left or right pretty quickly. Bow stayed nice and dry. I really do feel like the weight range is pretty spot on from about 120 to maybe about 210. I could easily see that being a good weight range on this boat. A little heavier, you're going to get pushed around a little bit more, but if you're a little lighter, you might be disengaged a little bit more for your speed and kind of get around. It's fast, everybody. It is fast, by the way. Faster than my reactor. All right, let's give it another go. The way it feels on the water, it has this tank top feel to it. Ooh, get it, get it, get it. Ah! All right, last time we went left down here. Let's go right and try to boop off of this rock. Off this corner. Ooh, I like how it does that, everybody. Oh, I was gonna 360 it. I needed to be right there. It does carry its momentum nicely off boops. Okay, there it is. Final thoughts on the Rizz. So my first impression of this boat, this is the perfect medium boat. And what I had found is the bow rode nice and high. It was nice and high and dry. It's a little more narrow up here than what I'm used to. I've got kind of spoiled by big wide bows. This one comes down. You can see my hand right here. It narrows down right there. But what they've done on this design is they flattened this area out so it doesn't pierce through. It actually hits and lifts. It's got these wave deflectors. It was very stable downriver. It was predictable. It locked into a line. Now I am a little heavier for it. The weight range is all the way up to 210 and I'm probably hovering around about 180 right now, and I felt like I was pretty much right on that kind of like almost top end, but I think you could go a little heavier with this. The rails are a little deeper and that's why it kind of locked in a little bit. Just like with the Beast, if someone a little lighter paddles this, I think it's going to be a little more sportier on its movement from side to side. I can usually tell that when I go to smaller volume boats. It is an 85-gallon boat, so I wouldn't say it's like a small boat. The hip pads don't really need foam, because what happens is when you tighten up the back band pulls the hip pad in. So think of this as one continuous kind of cup on you. I would like to see that right there attach to the track somehow. If Prjion's watching this, attach this down to the track, because when I get vertical or I'm moving up, when I'm high, my butt comes out of my bum comes up out of the actual seat, and I lose my momentum to throw the boat around. I can twist it, but I can't get that initial loop around. Now maybe if I tinkered around in the right size hole, I think I could, but that was just some initial thoughts on that. I'd like to have that back band attached down somehow. Everything else felt really good. Bulkhead was comfortable, easily to adjust. They have a tilt to it. I like it when manufacturers do that. They have this tilt so your feet aren't like cramped like up. They're tilted forward. Good job on Prjion for that. Overall, the boat feels indestructible on the water. You guys have to experience a Prjion plastic boat while it's on the river, because it reacts very similar to a composite boat. The way it's like your feedback to the river is instant. So I don't feel the waves under me and the holes and rocks under me. And when it does hit a rock, it just goes boing, boing, and it bounces like a soccer ball or basketball or something. Very interesting feeling when you get that. I call it the Prjion bounce. off of boofs, so you can get that good bounce off of there. But overall, I think Prjion did another really good job on this. Just like with the Beast, I think this is a really good offering from Prjion. I've never been that big of a fan of them, but you know what, they're winning me over on that. And I will leave links to Splatipus and a lot of other places where you can pick up some of this, you know what, my paddle and some of my gear if you're interested. There will be links below. So yeah, you guys leave a comment if you've paddled the Rizz or the Beast and what your opinion is on it. Until then, I will see you on the river.